Hey everybody, welcome to Tech Fix Talks. I'm in the studio today with Kevin Roth. Welcome, Kevin.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. We are going to be talking today about 3 areas where technicians need the most help. So we're going to be talking about how to be a technician. We're going to be talking about nobody's favorites, learning the basics. And we're also going to be talking about advanced level training. So I'm going to start off with Kevin here, and I'm going to ask him a few questions. One of the things I want to talk about with you today is because, you help a lot with our program, in hiring trainers and building curriculum and those sort of things. Like, what do you do? I mean, other than the Tech Fix tool that you now have, how do you, because now we've interviewed about 300 technicians, I would say. And I always say we now know what they don't know, because we've also tested almost 1,500 technicians to date. One of the things that we find when we do that interviewing and testing process is that a lot of technicians have not learned how to be a tech. So your technicians are pretty efficient. Now, what is your process to walk them through getting up to speed in your shop? Because you often hire people who have never seen how it's done. You often hire people who, and this is just across the board in automotive, you hire technicians who have great knowledge, great skills, but they just haven't put the whole package together. How do you sort of get them lined up, to be a better technician?
It all starts with the capacity for training, right? So if you're in a shop that does not have the capacity to train, but you hire a C-level technician, you're setting yourself and that tech up for failure, and you're also potentially ruining a tech later.
Good point.
Which kills me.
Yeah.
Right. So I won't, if I need an A-level technician, but the only thing I can find is a C-level, I would rather just have to hold the work off than put a C-level in that I can't have training. So I like to I assign every C-level or lower level green technician that we bring in, or even if they're just extremely green, fresh out of high school or something like that, we put them right alongside of an A-level technician that has the capacity to train. Right.
Okay.
We then take that technician's hours and we bonus the technician that's doing training off of that. So that way because we know it's going to take some of his time. It's going to be a million questions, and that's what we need. So if he's going to sacrifice some of his hours, he's going to gain by the hours this other technician turns. When I bring out technicians in, I don't put them right on flat rate. They go on hourly, like a green technician. Now a seasoned technician, obviously. But for our training program, we don't put them in that, like in a flat rate category. You'll lose your shirt, and we know that.
Got it.
But if we don't have that capacity that we need to be able to train, we won't move past it. We won't make the hire, because I've done that before, and
I've done that before, honestly, and I not proud of it, but I've broken a fefew techs in my life. I try to push a few techs further than they should have been at that moment in time, because as an owner, sometimes you're in this place where you're torn between helping your techs and helping your customers. So, you might push them a little bit further. And I think it's hard to figure out. It comes with experience and wisdom. There's a line that you need to keep pushing towards, but then you need to pull back at some point,
100%.
right? Because you, like you said, you don't want to break your technician. I think that's a great point. And I think technicians and shop owners need to hear that, because, it is really hard to make that decision to hold off that work until you get the right players.
Yeah, I mean, I can't flood the shop at work, because then we'll just get poor quality work, right? The technicians are overwhelmed, so I can't do that. But as a shop owner, that is the worst thing, is you spent the money on marketing. Then you go and have the phones ringing, but you have to say, I can't service you today. Yeah. But it kills me. But if I don't have a tech that I could put in and plug in, it's just going to be a bad experience for the customer anyway.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
I mean, overall, I would rather the customer be frustrated that we couldn't do it at all, or had to wait 2 days, than be frustrated that their car was there 2 days.
Absolutely.
Or we lied to them,
And one of the things that we talk a lot about here, especially like in our foundations program, is we talk about workflow management and time management, something that we teach heavily on. And you can negate a lot of the issue of having to say no by just teaching your technicians and your managers how to set appointments, how to manage your day. Like we always say, don't manage your day by the car. Don't manage it by, the job. Manage it by the operation. Because I can have oil draining and AC system evacuating for a recharge while I'm doing a test drive, like all those things. I can do passive and engaged activities or operations at the same time. And I think that's really important too. That's part of the thing that we talk about to help with that, so you don't have to say no. But skill level is a different thing. Like I don't want to bury somebody in a heavy diagnostics while they're, they have 5-6 brake jobs on their hook for the day. Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's important that, that as far as training and being a technician and a shop owner or wherever you are in the industry, it's important to make sure that your technicians understand how to be techs.
Yeah.
In our program, we teach technicians how to have difficult conversations, how to be, like if I have a comeback, like how do I need to be in this situation, right?
Yeah.
How do I need to build, what kind of relationships do I need to build with my service advisor? And, and this is kind of what I want to ask now. I mean, let's full transparency. Now you're involved in Tech Fix and have been for, almost since the beginning. So you use this tool in your shop. But one of the things, again, through testing all of these technicians, we know that 80% of the technicians that we tested are B-level technicians and they don't understand the basics. What kind of training program, I mean, explain what you do now with the program, but what did you do before?
Before, I did the same thing every other shop owner does. You wait for the parts store to roll around and say, we have a training on X, and then you sign up for it and send your guys, right? But my technicians kept coming back saying, well, you could tell that guy wasn't in the industry for a long time, and that was frustrating. So I started going to them with them, and I was disappointed as well. You could tell, or some of the training material was just a good presenter, like a good personality, but wasn't technical, and he was just either reading off a script or something. Now, I know there's a bunch of really good trainers. I'm not trying to
right.
So there are some great ones, but we just didn't have any access to that. So then we searched for some online files, but when, originally when we went and we found Tech Fix, and that's where, I became really passionate about it, was the TCOD, Theory, Component, Operation, Diagnostics, and I started applying that to everything in the shop. But because if you don't understand why we do it, then you're just not going to do it. So if we take everything, it's why we have the components we have in place, why we do the operations we do. You need to know the theory behind it. And then when it's broken, you know how to diagnose it because you know why it broke. We skipped a step, right? So once we started getting everybody on that same path, everything's gone good. But even still, when we signed up for Tech Fix originally, I did the same thing every other owner did. I said, here's your username and password, do training. Yeah. And then 3 months later, I log in and I'm like, what's wrong with you guys? Nobody's done anything. And it's frustrating because you're spending money every month. So that's when we built the Lunch and Learn program, right?
Right.
Go through, analyze the techs, figure out the shop's average. At that point, my techs have done none of the training, so we just started at the beginning, and we started rolling through. I literally went through foundations all the way through, and then we started in the university and kept going through. And that's still today what we're doing. We do it once a week. I've had a lot of people we've set up with this program that are doing really well. The most frustrating part for us on it is that we do it on Mondays. And the reason we do it Mondays is because we were doing it Fridays. They go home, have their hard reset for the weekend, and Monday again, it's like you're starting all over.
Right.
Started doing it on Mondays, and then we could reinforce it all week long. And by Friday, we've built a habit into it. But on Monday, no matter how busy we are, no matter what's going on, we break that hour and we do training. And that's not just the back of the house, that's the front of the house does training at the same time. Okay. They're doing a different training, obviously, but they do training themselves too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hey man, it's been really good talking to you today.
Likewise.
It was fun. If you guys are interested, check out the videos that Kevin and I did. Our reaction videos. It was really fun to do that with you, man, and I can't wait to have you back. I got more things I want to talk to you about, okay?
Awesome.
So thanks. All right, guys, you fix the cars, you fix the shop. Thank you.